I'm kind of laying down right now because these women have exhausted me to no end. I'm just, oh, child. And the house and out and .coms and get your lives and wigs and bad Beyonce acts and cheekbones. And I'm just, child, and raspy voices. They've just worn me down to the ground. Um, okay, let me just start. All right. The sisters began where they left off last week with all the girls sitting at dinner and they talking and Tamar and Trina got into it about Tony and her paving the way and all that. And Tawanda started to talk, and Tamar got up and walked away, first of all, like she always do. And then Tawanda came back, and I mean, Tawanda started to talk. These teas. Tawanda started to talk, and Tamar came back, and she was just like, "No shade, but I just feel like Tony Braxton haven't made me because I don't have 4 or 5 record deals or whatever. I don't work my ass off in this industry. Yes, you are a legend, but you did not make me. I just feel like that. Yes, you've done your thing or whatever, and I respect you, but you are not a legend." Trina was like, all she was trying to say was that Tony Braxton paved the way for all of us. Tony Braxton was the one who made Braxton a household name. And actually, WeTV, I retweeted a tweet that they sent out. This was something Tawanda said. She was like, if it wasn't for Braxton Family Values, you wouldn't know who Tamar Braxton is. And if it wasn't for Tony Braxton, you wouldn't have Braxton Family Values. There's really nothing more to say. I don't really like Tony that much as a personality. Um, but you can't deny what she's done. She is a legend. She should be up there. In my opinion, she's up there with the Whitneys, the Celines, the Mariahs, the Madonnas, the Janet Jacksons. That's her time. Those are, that's that generation. Darling, it's all about the 90s, 80s and 90s, late 80s and 90s. So, yeah, Tony Braxton is that bitch, no doubt, no doubt, and that's just what it is. Hey, um, I say that I don't like her much as a personality only because she seems very standoffish, and she's sometimes in the past, more so in the past than this season, acted as if she sometimes is better than them with certain things. Like one thing that really turned me off from her was, I think this was season 2 or something like that, when they actually went on the sisters trip and like all the girls went horseback riding and went on this little, they was working with this cowboy and he, you know, they was shooting guns or whatever, and she was basically was like, oh, she wasn't feeling well, so she ended up going to the spa instead of just hanging out, chilling with her sisters and stuff. And that's one thing. And it's just, certain things she do and say. You know, what's the reason why she never shows up to anything Tamar does? I wonder. Hmm. I guess she's always booked. Well, she's definitely. I will say she's booked now, because of the whole, because the Tamar, because Tony and Babyface album was a hit. I definitely know that. But yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, um, so Tamar gets up and leaves. She was just like, "Look, at the end of the day, I can't help what my touring manager did. Okay, that's his job. He did what he did. Did I personally come to y'all and tell y'all to get out? Did I personally do that? It was just like, I can't help what other people do to you. I'm just telling you from my perspective, and all I got control over is what I say and do. Tamar, it's your damn tour, okay? They work for you, sweetie. At the end of the day, You could have easily went out there and got your sisters. They couldn't. What they would have did stopped you. You're Tamar. This is your tour. Like, you could have said, I wanted everybody gone except for my sisters. But you didn't do that. And I honestly do think that you told the tour manager to send their ass, back to Gabe's house. House. Okay? I really do think that. Or maybe everybody saw and heard that you was cussing so much, and he just made the decision to go ahead and just let everybody leave because you was very upset. So I'm sure you didn't want to be bothered. Maybe that was it too. Up enough of that. Trina talks to the daddy, and he says, I think daddy has to make a trip or whatever up there. So Tamar and Trina having this little interview on stage, and the fans are in the audience. And Tamar, she just can't let down her Tamartian friends. Because apparently everybody on the Essence tour came there to see her. She says that she was one of the headliners. Yeah, okay. She probably was, but everybody didn't come to see you. I'm sure a lot of people came to see you, but everybody didn't come to see you. Me and my Team Martian friends and yada yada. So anyway, she got on the little cart, and they drove her to the proper place where she was supposed to go. Trina was already on stage talking to the girl, and it was very like a shady kind of interview. The lady asked, do you felt like Tawanda wasn't, supporting you or whatever throughout the season or last season, and out of your sisters, and she was just like, Tamar, my sister. Oh, like Trina. Trina was like, I beg your pardon, what do you mean? And Trina just kind of took offense to the things that Tamar was saying, because it was just very much like, out of everybody, Trina is probably the one that's the most there for her out of the other three. So it was just like, what do you mean by that? Um, Tawanda, I mean, Tamar was just like, um, look, we was just having a conversation and everything, and that's just like honestly how I feel or whatever. And what I've learned with my sisters is that I just learned to shut up and not to say anything unless they ask me. Then I'm a lie to them because they don't want to hear the truth and everything. Tamar is just very Y'all can go back and watch it, if you would like to know exactly what she said. But Tamar is just very shady. I've noticed that Tamar is very shady during interviews. When all of them are doing interviews together at the same time, she's very shady, and she says all kind of smart stuff on camera just to get a laugh, and just to get the audience to laugh, and just to get like people on her side or whatever. Like, oh, she's the fun one or whatever. That's why she's Tamar or whatever. She does all kinds of stuff to get attention. Yet it was so funny when they was done with the interview and they went backstage. She was crying and weeping like a little puppy because she wanted Trina to stay with her. And it was very much like, girl, please, like, you just shaded me on stage, but now since we backstage and we back to real life, you kissing my ass now, and you want me to stay with you for the tour. Trina was like, look, I got kids, and it was like, bye, deuces. I ain't with that fake shit either. Like, if I'm pissed off at you, I'm pissed off at you, and that's simply just it. Until we can move on and talk about it, and you apologize if you've done me wrong. Um, Tracy. Well, no. Before that, Tamar, of course, as I said, she was on the Essence tour, and she went on ahead and had the they cut to a scene, and they went on ahead and showed her performing, and it was just child, my girl Brenda said that Tamar, it just seems like Tamar is a bad mix between Tony, Mariah, and Beyonce. I was just like, totally, with a little sprinkle of Deborah Cox in there. It's just tragic boots. Like, girl, her on stage and her faces that she be making, and it's in her outfits. It's just, mm-mm. No, no, and no. And she was just very upset. She was just like, you know what? Um, it's just real disappointing or whatever that I'm in the highlight of my career. My dream is finally coming true. I've worked my ass off for this long, and my family is just not here to support me or whatever. Somebody said on Twitter, um, they probably didn't show up because they were scared that you would put their ass out again. I fell out. And it's just like, Tamar, do you really expect for them to be there, honey? No, like for real. Like, sometimes I really just be wondering what the hell she be thinking. Like, it's just like, are you shocked that they're really not there? If it was something Tony did, would they would have been there? Sure, probably. But they just have a lot more respect for Tony than they do Tamar, honestly, and that's the truth. I do agree with her with that. They do. And she was like, if they had any kind of respect to me, they wouldn't have pulled that stunt or whatever on stage. I'm still very much so torn about that whole thing. I'm not necessarily on anybody's side. I'm leaning more towards Tawanda them side and their intentions or whatever. Then another way in the back of my head is thinking that Tawanda knew how Tamar would react, and she decided to just go on ahead and just do it anyway, or whatever. But still, since then, Tamar done all kinds of shit. If you watch my Chalaki News #2 video, which you should, um, I talked about the shady tweet that Tamar sent out that Tracy tweeted. If it wasn't for this little lady, none of us would be here. Whatever. Talking about the sisters, she was talking about Tony and Tamar, and somebody tweeted Tracy what she said to Tony and was like, I see in the future one day you are gonna get a Grammy, like I can already tell. And Tamar, I guess, replied or saw that tweet, and she was just very much like, but do the Grammys have a category for auto tune? Just shady shit, like, and then the whole thing with Tracy album dropping, and then Tamar's song dropping the same day or the next day. It was just very shady, just a shady boots. Like, you cannot tell me that was not on purpose. Child, please. How dare you try to stunt Tracy's shine out of everybody? And Tracy been wanting this a whole life. And how much she, sacrificed and didn't get to go with y'all on the road when y'all was the Braxtons and stuff. Just like, child. Anyway, speaking of Tracy, she has a photo shoot. Not a photo shoot. She's shooting her video for the last call. This is my last call for love, and I'm so emotion. Dun dun. It's my last call. I don't know all the words. It's a cute song. It is auto tune boots, but hey, the video, she looks great. She looks fan freaking tastic in the video. I love that pussy popping red hair on Tracy. Actually, Tracy has this little British guy as her leading man. She was just like, he's kind of short. I'm just trying to understand what this man is doing, because this is too much. And actually, all the girls show up except for Tawanda. And I think I think Tracy said in an interview that Tawanda wasn't there because she was sick or something. But all her sisters or whatever show up, even Tamar, with just some jeans and a shirt on. Tamar was like, you know what? Even though don't nobody show up for my shit, ain't nobody ever showed up for none of my video shoots, I'm gonna go ahead and support Tracy. It's all about Tamar, honey. And so she came in just some jeans and a shirt. But Trina was snatched. Trina looked very, very good. I love that. Was it a jumpsuit moment? It was like the titties was out. It was like a one piece suit. It was really, really cute. The pattern, it was lovely. Tony, she looked adorable. Adorable. and this little bustier moment and this little skirt and her boots. Tamara was like, "Oh, y'all showing up, everybody looking cute, and I'm looking like, fucking Cinderella pre-Prince." And it's just like, child, bye. Didn't nobody tell you to put that on, Tamar? Tamar running her mouth and talking, and it was a cute scene. It was good to see that they was there. For Tracy. Apparently the daddy had a heart attack, and they all meet in the hospital with him. And yeah, it was just I was glad that he's okay. Tamar has a meeting at her house, to celebrate the daddy's release from the hospital. He's doing a little better. I have a question. Where is Vince's family? I think that Vince's parents passed away, I believe. But I know that he has a sister and I think a niece, and like they never shows Vince's family at all. Um I mean, this is Braxton Family Values, but I'm just saying, like even on Tamar and Vince, they never show Vince's family. Ever, hardly. Except for that one time um that Tamar was having a baby and they came after the baby was born. His sister and niece. But anyway, all the girls show up late, but while they're Tamar starts to talk, and she's very much so like, I just don't want to work with my sisters. It's just always tension. I'm just so sick of this shit. Like I just don't know what to do anymore. And Mama was like, yeah, the way that y'all talk is just sickening, for God's sakes. And the daddy was like, look, I don't want somebody getting hurt or sick is the only time that y'all decide that y'all want to come together. I was just like, very true, because that's what a lot of people do sometimes. The only time families come together really is when something bad happens, or when it's some damn cookout or something. Free food. And we need to change, for God's sakes. Timur was just like, I just can't work with my sisters. I'm sick of everything being my damn fault, and it's just annoying. The girls finally show up late. All three of them show up, and Tamar drops some bread, a bag of bread or some shit in front of their face, and the tension is just thick. Tamar is kind of saying smart stuff because she's already prepped the parents up to kind of be on her side. Um, and none of the three saying anything really. And Tony comes in with the boys, and Tony was just like, I thought that the party started at 9. I guess Tony ass got there at damn 12 a.m. or some shit. Yeah, Tony's shady, but we know this. Um, they start to talk, and yeah. Anyway, next scene, which is the last scene. Tony Braxton dropping hits. All the girls sit around the table, including the mother, and they all just, wondering what the hell is going on. Tony has some news. Now, Tony Braxton news is not good news usually because, she set them down many times and told them that she done had surgery. She has surgery. She had to have surgery at the time. That she had lupus and all kinds of stuff. Tony Braxton news is just not the business. So she finally tells them that she's going to South Africa, and they're all going with her. It was just like, yay. But then she was like, no kids allowed. Timur was like, no kids allowed. Like, what you mean? What you talking about, Willis? It was like, well, no kids allowed. It's just like, but I got a baby. And it's just, Tony, look, we all have babies, Tamar. We all have kids. Timur was just like, but what, Tamar gets up and leave because she had a meeting or whatever in the studio or something. And Tamar walks out to the car to Vince. Um, Tamar was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to South Africa." Vince was like, "Oh okay, that's cool." Tamar was like, "But you ain't going." Ooh, and the baby ain't going. Ooh, Vince was like, "Well, that's just not gonna happen." I was just like, "Damn." So yeah, I think that Shady Tony B has a plan with just having the sisters there because it'll be a bonding experience or whatever, and that's why she said no kids allowed. But I don't think they ever bring the kids with them on the trip ever. It's just Tony. It's just Tamar always has Vince with her and the baby. But Vince can't stay at home for 1 week with the baby. I mean, I know that he's a baby, but she don't breastfeed or nothing. So like, but it's always an exception for Tamar. But then again, Tamar and Vince run shit. Who run the world? Tamar and Vince. So hey, they are executive producers of the show. So you know they just gonna have to suck it up, or Tamar's just gonna have to stay her ass in America. This is the season finale of Braxton Family Values. I think this is the 10th episode, and they usually break it in parts, and then what comes after, and then Tamar and Vince comes. Then when that season over, they'll like have a little break, and then it's the other half of Braxton Family Values, which would be like, this is season 4, so it'll be like 4.5 or some shit, or however they do it. Will I be reviewing Tamar and Vince? I don't know. I'll check out the first episode and see. It looks like this season's gonna be better than the first season. Looks like it. I'm not quite sure. With that said, it's time to lay down in the house, and yes, God, sleep won't he do it? I am Mr. Chalaki. I am Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me. I am at It's King's World on Twitter, and I am Chase King was here on Facebook. All right, make sure you guys retweet and comment and like and share and all those good things. Thank you so much, everybody who's been watching my Braxton Family Values reviews. I really, really love you. Shouts out to the subscribers. Thanks, y'all. Thank you, thank you, darling. And this has been I Review Braxton Family Values, Season 4, season finale. How about that? That's easier. Tony, Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, Tamar, and Miss Eve will teach you a thing or two on Braxton Family Values. Yeah.